Okay, so in this video we'll be discussing the quantization of input noise, input data, quantization of input data. So now what is this quantization of input data? Where exactly we find this quantization effect with respect to the input? How to minimize this quantization with respect to input? So we'll be discussing these points here. So when we have to consider the input signal, obviously in digital signal processing, the input signal will be analog signal. So this analog signal has to be converted into digital. So where we follow the process of sampling and quantization. Obviously the point here is, or the point of importance here is quantization. So basically there are two types of errors that were produced. So when this, when A to D conversion process happens, right? So when you have converted your analog signal into digital signal, so the process of assigning binary numbers to the quantized data, what is that called as? That is called as coding, right? So do observe the word coding. Coding is the process of assigning binary number to the quantized data of your analog signal. So that is called coding. Okay. So as we are discussing, there are two types of errors that we observe when this analog signal is said to be converted into digital. Or in other words, when the process of digitization is happening by using a to D converter, you have two types of errors that are observed. So the first one is called quantization error, and the second one is called saturation error. So two types of errors we observe. The one that is quantization error, which is very familiar and very clearly known to all of us. What is quantization error? So due to representation of the sample signal values using a fixed number system, so we have this quantization error in the input data. Now, what is this saturation error? This error occurs when the analog signal that you have considered exceeds your register length, right? Or you can say the dynamic range of your A to D converter. So if your analog signal data exceeds the dynamic range of your A to D converter, so then your saturation error occurs, right? So it has some value. So if your value is more than that, your input value is more than the specific range of your A to D converter, then obviously it is out of saturation. So hence you have the saturation error being occurred. So, but our point of interest is with respect to the quantization errors. So we will be discussing those quantization errors now. So as specified in the previous discussions, we consider the quantization step size first. So which is equal to R by 2 power B. Right? R by 2 power B, or you can say R by 2 to the power of small b plus 1. B is equal to B minus 1. So with respect to that, you can say R by 2 power B plus 1. Right? So B is including sign bit, B plus 1, in this B is excluding sign bit. So when we speak about this quantization of input data, so this quantization, I told you, you can do either by truncation or rounding. But in general, we prefer rounding rather than that of truncation when the quantization of input has to be performed. Quantization of input data has to be performed. Why I should go with rounding? Why can't I do with truncation? So because if I consider rounding, my mean value will be 0 and the variance will be very small compared to your truncation impact. So let us see how the mean value will be 0 and the variance will be less. So in case of rounding, I told you the range will be from minus q by 2 to plus q by 2. So where q by q by 2 defines your half of the step size. Q defines the step size and q by 2 defines the half of the step size, right? Let us say E is your error signal, right? So Q is your step size. So that is what 2 to the power of R by 2 to the power of B plus 1 that we have seen, that is designated with Q. Okay. Now calculate the mean value of this error, mean of the error, which is equal to 1 by q by 2 minus of minus q by 2 integration minus q by 2 to q by 2 E into dE. Now simplifying, so this is 1 by q, E is E square by 2 from minus q by 2 to q by 2, right? So which is equal to 1 by q, or if I take this 2 outside, 1 by 2q, q square by 4 minus, this is also q square by 4, so which is equal to 0, right? So the mean value, if I consider rounding step for quantization of my input data, will be 0, right? So hence, as the mean is 0, we prefer rounding rather than that of the truncation. Now we calculate the variance. So epsilon sigma E square, which is equal to expectation of E square minus expectations mean of E square of E. So this value is already 0. Now we will be concentrating only on this factor, right? So at sigma E square, the variance equal to 1 by q by 2 minus of minus q by 2 integration minus q by 2 to q by 2 E square dE. So which is equal to 1 by q E cube by 3 minus q by 2 to q by 2, which is equal to 1 by 3q q cube by 8 minus q cube by 8. Because here, because of minus q by 2, you will have one more minus, so plus, right? So now this is equal to 1 by 3q 2q cube by 8. So sigma E square is equal to q square by 3 into 4, 12. Q square by 12. Now, representing Q in its form, so 1 by 12, Q is R by 2 power B whole square. Right? So this is R square by 12 into 2 to the power of minus 2B. So this is sigma E square. R square by 2 to the power of minus 2B. R square by 12 into 2 to the power of minus 2B. So this is the variance. So this is also called as steady state noise power due to input. Steady state noise power, as we are calculating with respect to input. So this is steady state noise power due to input. In the same way, we also need to calculate the steady state noise power with respect to the output. So that is variance with respect to the output. So the output noise power is given as output noise power sigma E-O. Sigma E represents your variance error and O is the output noise, and I. So we are considering in the input signal point of view. So hence sigma EOI square is equal to sigma E square integration, summation n runs from 0 to infinity h of n square. So this is the output noise power. So or you can also call it as steady state output noise power or variance with respect to the output. Right? So this is given as sigma EOI square is equal to sigma E square integration by 2 pi j, 1 by 2 pi j sigma E square integration h of z inverse dz. Right? So this is taken as a contour integral. H of z. So from here h of n, we are calculating the h of z, the frequency response, into h of z inverse dz. Okay. So this contour integration is considered in anti-clockwise direction always, right? So integration will be in the within the unit circle, and it has to be considered in the anti-clockwise direction. So simplifying by 2 pi j. So this is converted into the discrete form or the digital form. So sigma E square, sigma I runs from 1 to n. Real part of h of z inverse into z inverse at z equal to pi. So with reference to the poles, we are defining. So we are considering the real part of that. Okay. So further simplification, E square sigma I runs from 1 to n. So we are applying the residue theorem here. So z minus pi into h of z into h of z inverse into z inverse at z equal to pi. So this is how we calculate the output variance. Okay, so we'll do a small example so that you can understand it very easily. So hope you understood this. We are considering the output noise power, right? So we are considering it in terms of the contour integral first. So where the contour integral should be calculated with respect to the unit circle in the anti-clockwise direction only, and we are converting it into the digital form, discrete form. So considering the real part of that at z equal to a particular pole, z equal to pi, and we are implying or we are calculating using the residue theorem in order to get our final value, right? So we will take an example. So this is the error signal E of n. This is the input x of n. So here we have the output y of n. Right? So this y of n is delayed by 1 unit, so z inverse, and this is multiplied by 0.93. right? So instead of representing the realization structure in the form of a block diagram, here we are representing in this way, state diagram, like, right? So this is the equation figure that is given, and with respect to this figure, he has asked us to calculate the mean value, input variance, and the output variance, right? So he also gave that the analog signal initially is applied at 10 volts. Okay, so the voltage is at 10 volts, and this 10 volts represents your peak value. Analog voltage of peak value 10 volts. And this 10 volts, when it is converted into its digital equivalent or the discrete format, it is represented with 6 bits. So that is also specified in the question, right? So for this specific characteristic function, so if the input is given at 10 volts, which when represented in the form of a discrete equivalent with 6 bits, is asking us to calculate the variance of the input and output, and what will be the impact of the, right? Now, so we'll see how to solve this problem. So first calculate the quantization step. So Q is equal to R by 2 to the power of B, right? So here R is directly given, the peak value, that is 10 volts. So R value can be considered as 10. And when you are converting or into discrete equivalent, so he is using 6 bits. So your value of B is 6. So it is 10 by 2 power 6. So when it is 10 by 2 power 6, it results in 0.152 15625. So this is the quantization step Q. Now, as we already know that the mean value is 0, now we calculate the input variance. So the input variance sigma E square, which is equal to Q square by 12, Q square by 12, which is 0.15625 whole square by 12. So this results in 2.0345 into 10 to the power of minus 12, minus 3. Right? So this is the initial calculation. Now let us go to the system function. From the given equation, you can write y of n is equal to 0.93 z inverse. Let us take in terms of z. Y of z equal to 0.93 z inverse y of z plus x of z. So our y of n equal to 0.93 yn minus 1 plus x of n. So this is the original equation without considering the error function. So I am initially not considering the error function, just with respect to the input and outputs that I have, I am writing or establishing the relation. Now from this, if I calculate h of z, so h of z equal to y of z by x of z, which is equal to 1 by 1 plus 0.93 z inverse 1 minus 1 by 1 minus 0.93 z inverse. Right? Now this is your h of z. Now h of z inverse will be simply replace your z with z inverse with z. So that will be your h of z inverse. Now take the product of these three, h of z inverse into z inverse. So your h of z is 1 by 1 minus 0.93 z inverse into 1 by 1 minus 0.93 z into z inverse. So simplifying, you will obtain the result as minus 1.0753 z inverse by z minus 0.93 into 0753. So this is the result you obtain. So when you calculate h of z into h of z inverse into z inverse. So we are considering here the output noise function. Right. Now observing here, so you have two poles z minus 0.93. So one pole is at 0.93, another pole is at 1.0753. So in the previous discussion, when we are considering about the output signal output noise power, so I have stated that the contour integral will be considered only within the unit circle. So that means the poles should lie inside the unit circle. So here, though you have two poles, we will be considering only one particular pole which is inside the unit circle to apply the concept of quantization, right? So hence we consider only at z is equal to 0.93 and we calculate the output variance. EOI square is equal to sigma E square sigma I runs from 1 to n z minus pi into h of z into h of z inverse into z inverse at z equal to pi, right? The value of sigma E square that we have already calculated. So sigma E square, and as we are considering only one particular value of the pole, so I will be 1. So z minus 0.93 into, so this function we have calculated, which has resulted as minus 1.0753 by z minus 0.93 into z minus 1.0753 at z equal to 0.93. So this will be cancelled. So sigma E square is 2.0345 into 10 to the power of minus 3 into minus 1.0753 by 0.93 minus 1.0753. Now simplifying, this results in 0.00151. So this is the output variance. So the input variance we have seen. So this is the input variance and this is the output variance. So compare, you can compare and observe the effect of that, right? So this is about the quantization with respect to the input data. So in the next lecture, we will see the quantization with respect to filter coefficients and product quantization.